Hello, my friends! How you doing today? This is Bloons Monkey City, and we're going to have a super awesome, good, and fun time today. It's going to be a pretty long video indeed, and we don't usually make too long of Bloons Monkey City videos, but I felt like today should be a little bit of a special day. I'm going to help you guys out, and hopefully you guys will help me out as well along the way. So a lot of people tell me, Chris, I really have a hard time beating some of these tiles. You know, the lead balloon tiles, they're tough. The rainbow balloon tiles are even tougher, and once I get to ceramic, I just don't know what to do. So I'm going to show you guys how to beat all these tiles that are below Moab levels. Eventually, I'll make a Moab class plus video, but for right now, we're going to beat I'm going to show you guys how to beat all the ones below ceramics, or ceramics and below. And one thing I must mention is that if you can't beat it yet, just wait. Sometimes all it takes is an extra level or two, and then you'll be able to beat the level. So if you're having problems beating every single level outside of, just outside of your town, you're probably having a problem with your upgrades. So I'm going to show you guys my upgrades really quick in a certain style of gameplay that you can maybe use if you're having some problems. Everybody's style of gameplay is different, and sometimes people like to use certain upgrades, and that could work for them. The way I play is with a certain style, and that usually works for me, and a lot of people tend to copy it because it seems to work for them as well. But again, if you have a different style of gameplay, it may not exactly work for you. If you really like ninjas or something, it's definitely going to be different and might not be as effective for you as it is for me. So I must mention that as well. But here's the magic area. If you're having any problems, you want to come over here and do your upgrades. And now, I told you guys in a previous video that I had a bad day today. I told you guys that something bad happened to me. It's not really going to affect you guys, but something bad happened to me, and I was hoping that maybe you guys could help me out just a little bit. So I'll tell you the story really quick before I get too crazy, and in the meantime, you guys can just look at my upgrades really quick and see what I have. And I'll just kind of click through it every few seconds here just to show you guys what I have. And I really won't talk about it too much. But last night, I went to bed at around 10 o'clock, which I don't normally do, but my internet wasn't working, and I was just like, I'm sleepy, I'm just going to go to bed. It's 10 o'clock. I'll wake up early and get some stuff done, or just rest before I have to go to work. So I had to go to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, so I was going to wake up at 7 o'clock, just kind of rest, and eventually get ready for work by 8 o'clock or 8:30 by the time I leave. Anyways, my parents come in my room at 7 o'clock, and they're like, Chris, we have some bad news for you. And I'm like, oh no, what happened? And they said, well, somebody broke into your car last night and broke the window. And I'm like, what? So they showed me, and I walked outside, and there was a brick that went through my window. They took a brick from my house, took the brick, threw it through the window, broke my window, scratched my car all up, got glass literally everywhere. The back seat, the front seat, the driver's side, the passenger side, pretty much everywhere. And they stole my iPod. So I had an iPod Touch that was, I think, a second generation iPod Touch, and to be honest, I've had it for about 5, 6 years or so, so it wasn't like the, oh my goodness, I just bought my new iPhone, $500 iPhone, and now it's gone type of thing. It's like, I got a good use out of it, but I'd rather have it than to get it stolen, obviously. But, they stole it. If they tried to sell it, they'd probably get $10 to $15 to $20 tops. But my problem is that my window's broken, and I live in Chicago, where it gets pretty darn cold, to say the least. So I was hoping that maybe you guys wanted to help me out a little bit, and I can help you guys out as well. If you guys wanted to donate any money to the Save Chris's Window Fund, hopefully I can get that window fixed pretty soon, because I just can't afford it right now. I am extremely poor, and I'm getting some good hours at work, but it doesn't mean I have money right now, and I just can't afford it right now. So if you guys want to help me out just a tiny bit, every little tiny bit really, really counts. Go to superjohnbombo.com, and I have a PayPal account up at the top there. I really should have took pictures of my window, but I already vacuumed up all the glass and stuff. I spent 30 minutes vacuuming up glass this morning instead of resting, which completely sucks. But anyways, yeah, every single dollar counts. And what I was going to do is, for every single dollar that you guys donate, I'm going to make a minute of Bloons Tower Defense Battles special video. So if I get $100, I will make an hour and 40-minute video for you guys. I hope that will be enough for you guys. If you guys donate $300, oh my goodness, we can have a 5-hour extreme special. Oh my goodness, yes. So again, if you don't have the money, don't worry about it, but every little bit counts, because I really don't like driving around in freezing weather where my heat doesn't even warm me up anymore because the cold air just keeps rushing in through the window. It's also on the driver's side, so I'm right there, you know. I drive around, I have to wear gloves and 2 hoodies and a coat just to stay warm because I have 45-mile-per-hour winds coming inside my door. So anyways, that's all I'm going to talk about for that thing. Hopefully you guys can help me out. If you can't, that's okay. You know, I'll deal with it for now. But let's get back to the Bloons Monkey City stuff. Again, let's just talk about these really quick. What I like to do is get a 3-0 boomerang. Feel free to get a 2-3 because people keep complaining that I say get 3 zeros, 2 3s. Maybe that's what you guys want to do. Go right ahead. Feel free. But here's the main area: bomb towers and the mortar towers. 3-3. Get the bomb towers up to 3-3. 3-0 cannons and maulers as well, and then get your mortar tower up to 2-3 for sure. Camo detection is extremely important for your mortar tower. If you want to get a ninja or something, go ahead, but not my style. Not my style. So let's start off kind of easy here, and we'll work our way up. So what's an easy tile? How about a rainbow tile? Not only a rainbow tile, but a rainbow tile on a place where my towers are favored. So we got boomerangs and cannons. Desert tiles are almost always really easy. So the way I usually almost always start off my game is with a spike factory. But today we aren't allowed spike factories. So instead, I'm just going to get a nice little boomerang. We're going to get 1-2-0 boomerang and hope that we can afford a 3-0 boomerang within the next 2 levels. And if I need to, I'll use a couple sets of road spikes really quick. And there you see yellow balloons trying to run on through my defense. I'm going to say, no way. I'm just going to leave this guy on first few seconds so we can pop all these balloons. And it looks like we are going to pop all the balloons. We did it. We popped level 1 balloons, but this one's going to be even tougher. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, we can afford it. I forgot. It's not 1,500. It's only 1,275, so that's even better. All right, so we're going to put this guy on first now. And we should be able to pop all these balloons nice and easy. But the way I usually start off my game is not like this. It's not usually with boomerangs. It's not usually with cannons. It's actually with a mortar, which I'll show you guys the best way to do it on some of these other levels pretty soon. But a 3-0 boomerang, especially on levels wherever they're checkmarked, wherever they have a bonus, use it. Use it, guys. Use your bonuses on every single level if you can. Awesome. Some levels where you get crappy bonuses, like you get glue gunners. Like, who the heck wants to use glue gunners? Oh, my goodness. No. Stay away from the glue gunners. They're not the best thing in the entire world. I'm sure there's ways that you can use them efficiently, but just not in early game. Just trust me, there's way too many freaking balloons coming out here in grouped positions that will just make it super freaking hard for you to get anything done like that. Look at this. They're like, oh man, they're just running through my defense, so I'm just going to have to get a set of road spikes really quick. And I'm going to get a cannon up here as well. That'll help out a bunch. I should have got my cannon up just a little bit earlier. And we're getting them up to frag bombs. And again, road spikes are really not that expensive. If you think about it, you make a lot of money off of these balloons. So using a set of road spikes here and there to keep it no lives lost so you can get balloon stones later is freaking amazing. Make sure you do it, guys. Even if you got to use all 20 sets of road spikes by level 10 or 12, it's going to hurt you a little bit in the late game, but it's usually well worth it. It usually is, guys. And I know I say guys a lot. I'm sorry. And just micro a little bit, you know. Slow it down if you ever have any problems. I always keep my left hand on the keyboard for the hotkeys and stuff. Blah, 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 blah. You know, Z for road spikes and all that stuff. You can just go boom, boomerang, cannon. Look at that. I don't even have to do anything. And then you can slow things down. You can speed things up, all while doing all that stuff. Also, I didn't even realize it makes the wind shoot faster and stuff as well in this game. I don't think it... Oh, it does do that in regular BTD5 as well. So I guess it shouldn't be a big surprise for me. But it is. It is. It just kind of looks funky, like the wind actually blowing. It's cool how they do that. To make the wind look like it's blowing, you just put a little dust storm over it. But, plus, this cactus is kind of messed up. I mean, to be honest, he looks kind of retarded. I mean, does he have a problem over there? He's drooping a little bit. This one's drooping, too. I mean, these are special cactuses. Special indeed. So now that I have a 3-0 boomerang and a 3-0 cannon, I feel pretty darn safe. But you have to worry about those pesky camo balloons. Those pesky camo balloons can come at any second, and if you don't have a spike factory, oh my goodness, be careful. So if I see any camo balloons in these early levels, I'm just going to get a quick set of road spikes or 2, or 3, or 4, or 5, whatever I need. You know, I got 20 altogether, so I can feel free to use those guys as I please, but just try and save up for this high-level mortar for sure. You have to get him up to a 0-3 to make him camo detection, which kind of sucks because all I have is a dartling gun or a mortar for my camo detection right now. I really don't have anything else. So I have to kind of rely on that, especially because my dartling gun's really not that high of an upgrade. But the cool thing about the mortar is he decamoizes the balloons completely. So instead of, you know, you popping some of the camo balloons down to lower level camo balloons, you just decamoize them, so your awesome-tastic popping power over here, the 3-0 boomerang cannon action, can pop them down to absolutely nothing. So there they are. Those are the guys that I'm worried about. So I'm going to go 1 and 2, and I think that's enough. I might need one more set. And it looks like we are going to pop them. Alrighty. So now I can afford this right here, the signal flare. Now what I do recommend doing is if you're going to get a 0-3 mortar, make sure you at least get it up to 3-1. Let alone 3-2. 3-2 is going to be extremely helpful as well. So let's get that up. 3-1 now is going to be accurate and not miss that much. But pink camos and stuff can rush through you. They really can. So that's why I recommend getting the bigger blast as well. Pretty darn helpful, to say the least. So here we go. We got the Bernie stuff. This is usually how I start off my game. I usually start off with a Spike Factory and a mortar like this. But again, because we're on this special level, I decided to change it up a little bit and maybe make it a little bit more efficient for me. Change it up. Make it better. If you got a better strategy, go right ahead. And again, this is all based on the style of gameplay that you have. If you have a certain style of gameplay that isn't exactly like this, don't change it 100%. You might just have to adjust it a little bit to make it a little bit more efficient. But if you're just having a ton of problems, change it up. Change it up, maybe drastically. Oh my goodness. If you have to, do it. So now I'm actually going to get a Dartling gun, just for fun. Just because I kind of like using Dartling guns in Bloons Monkey City because they keep me from being bored. Uh-oh. Oh, man. Did you guys see that? I thought I was going to have way more than enough popping power, but I guess not. So we're going to get this guy up to 1-1. I'll actually aim him and pop things now. And as well, I should probably get another cannon up. So let's get this bad boy up. We'll get a 1-2 and soon to be 3-0 cannon. Get a 3-0 before I get anything else. We got a 3-0 now, and now I can get it up to 3-2. And look at that, we're actually down to $0 for a second there. $0 is hard to get. I rarely ever get $0. 3-1 and 3-2, and now we're going to get this guy up to 3-2 as well. And as you can tell, we're having a pretty easy time today. With 0 spike factories, which normally I rely a lot on my spike factories, we're doing a lot of pops here fairly easily. I mean, again, if we lost a life or two, it would have been like, oh, poo, that kind of sucks. We don't get the balloon stoves for it, but it's not detrimental to your strategy. It's not like, oh my goodness, I failed at life. No, absolutely not. So one more level here, and then we're going to move up to a ceramic level. I'm going to show you guys how to beat a ceramic really quick. And I suppose since we got the money for it, let's just do it. 3-0, 3-0, and 3-2 cannons are just so unbelievably amazing for the amount of popping power that they get. They are awesome. And there we go. Nice and easy, no problem whatsoever. Easy rainbow tile, bonus 340 cash, and a bunch of experience as well. Now let's move on to a medium level ceramic level. We'll do it on a grass level as well, just to show you guys that we can beat it. So we're not going to do it on a desert tile or anything. So this is a reasonably easy level. At least I think so. I'm going to start off with a Spike Factory. I'm going to get a mortar. This is the way I usually like to beat my ceramic tile levels, as well as rainbow levels as well sometimes. Get the rapid reload to start off, and all you're going to have to do is survive 1.5 levels with your mortar like this, and then you can get the Bernie stuff up. The cool thing about the levels where there's 2 areas where they go through is it's especially awesome for explosions, and also it's pretty decent versus or when you have boomerangs or something. Pretty much anything's going to get a second shot on stuff, but explosions especially usually get a really, really good amount of pops out of anything that has like 2 areas where they go over each other. So we're going to get Bernie stuff pretty soon here. As you can tell, mortars really do not do that much popping power when they're just a regular mortar, but once you get Bernie stuff, you're basically quadrupling the popping power. You go from popping 1 balloon to popping 4 balloons per shot. So we're quadrupling our popping power. Any balloon that gets touched that is a yellow or lower will get popped down to nothing. All pinks will get popped down to reds. So, awesome. Any blacks will get popped down to, I believe, greens, but then if you get a second shot on him, bam, that guy's dead. 100% dead. He would have been dead, but the Spike Factory stopped it in time. So Bernie stuff is key, as well as make sure you do get the extra upgrades for these guys. I usually at least get increased accuracy, at least to start off, and then eventually I move up to the bigger blast later. But for right now, you do need to worry about other things, because this guy's not the most accurate thing in the entire world. He really doesn't aim, and you can't do like the mortar exploit where you can actually move it around or anything like that. Or not the mortar exploit, I guess we called it the mortar glitch a little while ago. You could take your mortar, and you could click, and you could hold down, and you could just move it around wherever you want and just follow the entire thing, and your mortar was just way better than it probably should have been. But they fixed that, so now we can't really do it, and it's not quite as nice. But what we can do instead is just use mortars as our awesome camo popping power. So what I usually do is I don't get camo popping power right away because I have a Spike Factory back here. But the problem is if you go for any sort of other camo popping power, for example, some sort of high-level ninja, you can be screwed over by camo leads. They can come at any time. You don't know if they're going to come. Now, there is a less likely chance for them to come compared to pretty much anything else. At least that's what I've noticed. But they can still happen, and that sucks. You don't want to get screwed saying, oh my goodness, what the heck are we going to do? We're going to have to use pineapples at least to pop those guys. And then I don't have any pineapples right now, so I'd be totally screwed. But luckily enough for you guys should be smart enough to go for pineapples if you are going for that type of gameplay. You'll also notice that I have my my boomerang on last here. I feel like this is the best spot for a 3-0 boomerang. but probably not the best spot for a 2-0 boomerang. I could probably find a little bit better spot, but this definitely is not bad. Definitely is not a bad spot. So we're doing pretty darn good so far. Again, this is a ceramic level, so showing you guys how to beat a ceramic level. I don't think you can beat any sort of ceramic impoppable levels. Those really, really hard levels, oh my goodness, those guys can get ridiculous. Especially those levels where you have 2 areas where they come in. I know that mustache level is pretty ridiculous on the hills. There's the one grass level, I think, where you have like 2 areas where they come in and 2 areas where they go out, which gets pretty ridiculous to say the least. And here we go, we got some Regrow blacks coming in, so I mean this is going to be tough. We're actually going to move our mortar around a little bit here. Actually, I think it's best to just leave it there, actually. Yeah, I think our best bet was just to leave it there. Alright, and we got just about that 3-0 boomerang. So as soon as we get that guy, we're going to feel really nice and safe. Bam. There we go. And again, if you have any problems, just use a few sets of road spikes in those early levels, because you will be able to get that money for those guys. Do not worry about that. You're going to have a few harder seconds in there, but you will be able to afford it eventually. And after that, this is where it's up to you. I mean, usually what I like to do is I like to get camo detection, bigger blast, and then I get a 3-0 cannon, just to feel a little bit safer about myself, because the 3-0 boomerang can usually handle himself pretty well. He usually can. So now we have bigger blast, we have camo detection. Now all we need to do is get extra popping power. We have everything set up, but here's the main issue that I have. Again, we're on a ceramic level. Don't forget about the ceramics. We always want to go with 3-0 cannons. We always want to go with the 3-0 boomerangs, but that's not the best thing to do. Right now, the best thing to do is get ceramic popping power. Whatever it is that you need. Now, I personally use dart monkeys. Put them all on strong. I already have them. Why not? All we need is a couple shots from those dart monkeys. They'll pop the ceramics. This guy will clean them up, and this guy will clean them up. And I get ready for them right around level 11. Because they don't usually come on level 11, but they can. And that's the problem that we have. Whenever you hear a can. Cans turn into oh craps. Oh craps, we lost. And we don't like our oh craps. No, we don't want the oops, I crapped my pants. We want the yes, I didn't crap my pants. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we want. So, now what else do we want? How about a 3-0 cannon? There's going to get a lot of regrows over there as well. So, we're taking care of them. Spike Factory especially, saving our butts again. Of course, it always saves our butts. But now it's about time. Let's get the 3-0 cannon. I usually leave them always on close. Or at least most of the time, I leave them on close. Most of the time. Because people really hate when I say all the time. And then they're like, what about that one time? Chris, you lied to me. And I'm like, no, I didn't lie. It's a commonality. And when you have a commonality, you usually try to stick with it. Otherwise, people get confused when you say sometimes this, and sometimes this, and sometimes that, and sometimes that. That's why people get confused. Sometimes I do that, and sometimes I do this, and it's hard to do that. So I usually try and stick with the commonalities. And the usual commonality is cannons on close, unless you're specifically like, oh poop, what about this? This could be fantastic for me. And then do that. If it's going to work for you, do it. Now we have a bunch of money. Awesome. Look at that. We got $3,300. We're still going to have to prepare for those ceramics. So, in the essence of preparing for ceramic balloons, we'll get a dartling gun. A 1-1 dartling gun, as well as some extra popping power. Yeah, we'll get a 3-0 boomerang first, and then get another cannon. At least that's a solid plan, if you ask me. Yeah, these guys are all on strong. Yeah, and those guys are going to be decent versus a few quick ceramics that come on the low levels. But once you get to the higher levels, spamming the 3-0 cannons and boomerangs and stuff is actually almost better than going Moab popping power. Or I mean, like ceramic popping power. Do you guys understand what I mean by ceramic popping power, by the way? The things that attack fast in rapid succession instead of having good pierce. Like, for example, I consider pierce is this guy can throw a dart and it pierces one balloon. But if I upgrade him to this, it pierces 2 balloons. But against a ceramic, it's not going to hit the ceramic 2 times. It's just going to hit the ceramic once, go through, and hit another balloon behind it. So the pierce that it has is 2, but it only does 1 ceramic or Moab popping power. So that's different, alright, than, for example, a sniper, which does 4 shots, 4 damage per shot to a Moab, for example, or 2 damage per shot to a Moab class balloon. That's different. I consider that like a little bit different. Now it's just iffy on what I actually call it, but people are confused on some of some of the words that I use, and sometimes it's different than Bloons Wiki. I don't know. Maybe I should just run Bloons Wiki. No, I'm just joking. I don't know enough about these games to run Bloons Wiki or anything. So here we go. We got a 3-0 boomerang. We're going to get another cannon over here for some extra pop power. Maybe I will go through and talk about all the definitions of the words that I normally use. I feel like they're just consistent enough where you guys should understand them, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I really need to go through them. So we still have not beaten any ceramics yet, have we? A very easy ceramic level to say the least. I guess they're probably going to all come out right now. And here they are, all these ceramic levels. Watch how easy this is going to be here. We got our Dartling gun, we got our cannons, we got our boomerangs, and look at that, we rocked them. Absolutely no problems versus spammed ceramics right there. And clean them up. So again, you can actually have some pretty darn hard ceramics when they come early. That's usually the biggest issue, is when one ceramic comes early and all you have is a a mortar, and a 3-0 boomerang. I mean, they just don't have enough ceramic popping power. They have a lot of popping power, but they don't have ceramic popping power, because every single shot only does 1 or 2 damage to that ceramic layer. So now that we beat these ceramic, we'll do one more for you guys. How about, I don't know, what do you guys want to see? Probably just like a Regrow rainbow or something. I usually try and stay away from them as long as possible. You know, beat the easy tiles first. Why the heck not? You're going to get money, you're going to get stuff. Beat them first, and then as soon as you get to these harder ones, like these Regrow rainbows, then you can start beating those. But we're going to try and beat one. Again, I'm trying to push in my bubble right now. I'm pushing myself out of my comfort zone trying to do this, so if I lose, please don't hate me on it. I think we're going to be able to do it, especially if it's on an easy level. It is on a reasonably easy level, but not a super easy level, so let's see what we can do here. We're going to get this guy up. We're going to get a... I probably should have put my spike factory closer to the bottom, but that's okay. Actually, you know what? We're just going to redo this really quick. Oop the diddle. Oop the diddle. Oh man, we abandoned them. Let's try this one. Let's see if this is a better level. Maybe this will be better. Oh, I hate this level way more. Screw that noise. That's the cool thing. You don't really lose anything from doing that, which I think is kind of nice. Unless you lose honor or something. That would not be good. That would be terrible. So there we go. Spike factory right in the corner there. And now we can get our boomerang. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to leave him on first, and I'm actually going to get him up to, actually, let's go with a mortar next. I usually go with a mortar, so why not? I mean, this is not the most perfect level for a mortar, but you can use him pretty effectively, as well as microing a tiny bit is all that's really required. And sometimes against the Regrow balloons, you cannot save up for a 3-0 boomerang quite as easily, so sometimes it's best to just go with those low-level boomerangs and those low-level cannons until you can actually afford what you need. Because birdie stuff is not quite as effective as it normally is against these regular balloons versus those Regrows, because those Regrows are just going to regrow into more Regrow balloons until they all get regrowed out, which they don't get regrowed out. That's the problem. And you can go, kasha, get an extra pop in here, get some extra money. Look at that, I like money. Oh my goodness, yeah, we got a bunch of money out of those Regrow balloons. So we got the rapid reload, and then I'm going to get the burning stuff pretty soon, probably right after this level. It's only $250 more, and this is going to be our last game, or last level of the day. You know, it's going to be a solid 30-something minute video for sure. So hopefully you guys will enjoy my Bloons Monkey City videos. Regrow levels are tough, though. I mean, I think the Regrow levels are way harder than the camo levels. I feel like camo levels are kind of easy because all you got to do is get a mortar up $500 upgrade to that camo detection upgrade. This right here, the signal flare, and then as soon as you get that, you're like pretty much set. It's like now I don't have to worry about camo blues anymore, right? So I mean, it's an extra $500 right off the get-go, which is kind of putting you back in the early game. But overall, once you get that, you're just totally set. Especially anything lower than a rainbow. Rainbows are lower, camo balloons, not a problem. Ceramic or above, maybe a little bit tougher. Yeah, definitely. So you're noticing that the toughest part's actually going to be right around level like 7, 8 or so, when I really can't afford anything too crazy yet. I can't get a 3-0 boomerang, I can't get a 3-0 cannon yet. All I have is my mortar to rely on and a little bit of boomerang action. So that's probably going to be the toughest part for us. So let's see what we're going to need. You know, I'm kind of just saving up. I don't know if I want to get my cannon next or if I want to get my boomerang next. I'm not really sure. I think what would be awesome if I can get one cannon here up to like 3-0. That might be a lot of extra popping power for me, but again, they're just expensive to get, and that's kind of like limiting my black popping power as well. Anything really strong, it's going to be kind of hard to beat. But if at least I get them up to frag bombs for a little while, that should be good enough, and then I can finally then I can probably start getting this guy up to 2-0 or something by that time anyways, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem. This guy, I can put him on last, get some extra black popping power out of that guy. Oh, sweet deliciousness. Now you're telling that these pinks are getting kind of crazy over here. It's not very nice. Oh, there's a lead regrow. Alright, so we're going to have to move our mortar around a little bit. Alright. Alrighty, come on. There we go. They did not cause too much damage to me. A lead regrow, though, they can cause some pretty big issues. And now I finally got the cluster. Oh, wait, I'm the frag bombs, excuse me. The frag bombs. And we're going to put him... Yep, he's unclosed. Alright. Cluster bombs are... I mean, the frag bombs are actually pretty nice. I like them. They pop black balloons. They do extra popping power. They're not as nice as the cluster bombs, of course, but they can be extremely helpful. The problem with the cluster bombs is you lose the frag ability. So that kind of sucks, but the cluster bombs are just so freaking amazing that the frag ability is just not worth it to try and keep. You know, spamming those frag abilities, it's not as good. Unless you're doing a certain type of popping power. If you're trying to do ceramic popping power or Moab popping power, that's what you got to stick with. Those fraggers. Those fraggers are key, man. And we're going to actually move this around a little bit, a little tiny bit of micro to make my Spy Factory not to have to work so hard. And we finally got the 3-0 cannon. I'm going to get this upgrade as well, the increased accuracy. There's really not too many camo balloons coming out. I have not seen any yet, but level 7 is usually the level where they start coming out, at least as far as I've seen so far. You know, ceramic-ish levels are 7-ish camos. So the next thing I want to do is actually get this guy up to... up there they are. Look at that. Camo regrows as well. So I'm actually going to not get anything for my mortar just yet. I'd rather get the 2-0 boomerang and soon to be 3-0 boomerang. I know he's expensive. I'd much prefer a 2-3 boomerang on this level for sure. But I have to stick with the 3-0s just because I don't have infinite dollars. If I had infinite dollars, I'd have that 2-3 boomerang by now. So it'd be very, very helpful. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Regrows like crazy. And there's those blacks, those pesky little blacks that I'm having lots of problems with. We're going to have to regrow the crap out of it. We're not going to let those guys regrow the crap out of me. Oh yeah, look at that. We popped them down to like nothing. It's going to be a little bit harder for me to pop a lot of those other blacky balloons, though. Those black balloons are going to be tough for a little while. And my 3-0 cannon is really not doing as much as I thought he would. Those regrow balloons are pesky. They are indeed pesky, so... And it looks like I'm going to move my mortar around just a tiny bit really quick. And are we going to be able to pop them all? Yes, we are. Yes, indeed. And we can afford a 3-0 boomerang. Yeah! We did it. 3-0 boomerang. 2-3, or, 1-2 mortar. Excuse me. I'm used to it. 2-3 mortar. 1-3 mortar. 3-0 cannon. 3-1 cannon. Soon to be 3-2. Oh, you know what? That's a lot of camo balloons right there. As well as a camo regrow. I mean, yeah. Oh my goodness. We cannot let that regrow, that lead regrow get through our defense. I used a couple of those road spikes because those camos, so I'm going to have to get the camo detection up. Now I have full camo detection, or at least I should, except for maybe a few pesky pinks that might get through. And I feel like I have a really solid defense so far. Even against those regrow leads, I don't think they're going to be that big of an issue, especially if I move this guy around just a tiny bit. And it looks like, yes, indeedy, we took them down. And what's next? How about another cannon? We'll get another 3-0 cannon, but in this corner. And this is also a camo rainbow, not a camo ceramic. So you do not have to worry about ceramics at all. Don't worry about getting that ceramic popping power up like I did in the other levels. And as you can tell, now those guys combined together are just plain amazing. And in combination with that, what I think I'm going to do is, just in case any of those blacks try and get through and I don't get Bernie stuffed, I'd like to get an extra boomerang over here, at least 2-0. Just 2-0, not even 3-0, to get through those little blacks that might get through. And there they are. Those blacks are trying to get through. They're even Bernie stuffed. My 2-0 boomerang is doing a lot of extra popping power, and it looks like we cleaned them up a lot easier than what I even would have thought. But since I have the money for it, why not get a 3-0? And I'm feeling pretty darn safe here, guys. Once you get to this part, you're just like, it's just time to clean up the rest of the balloons. Don't worry about them too much. Just get some extra popping power, whatever the heck else you can get. Whatever the heck else you can get. Yeah, I mean, nothing fancy's going on, to be honest. Just kind of chilling here right now. Hopefully you guys are enjoying me chilling. A chill-tastic fest. And to be honest, I made this video 3 times because the first time I made it, I just did not like it. I thought I stuttered too much and stuff like that, so it was a 25-minute video that I just threw out the window because I said, you know what, I want to make these guys good videos, high quality or nothing. And then the second time, I messed up at about 3 minutes. I just started, I was just like, blah, 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 and I was like, this is stupid. So I just gave up and I started over again. And this is the final result of that 3 tries. Boom, shaka, frickin' laka. We locked them in the face, and we did it. We are more awesomer than you could ever be. You captured a forest tile. 340 cash. Alrighty, so that's pretty much it. That's all I got for right now. We're going to grab our cash really quick. No, oops, doodles. Grab our cash really quick. Grab our Bloontonium really quick. We have so much Bloontonium. Let's attack somebody. Who are we going to attack? Yeah, let's attack somebody. I usually attack somebody about my level. I don't know. How about this guy? Patrick. Let's attack him. We'll go with our 3,657. All of it. All of it. Use the max and attack him. Go. Go, Bloontonium. Go. Your attack has been deployed. I also do have to defend my Monkey v. Monkeys tonight, so I'm going to make sure I get that up. I don't know if I'm going to make it into a video, but maybe. Maybe I will. Alright, so that's it. That's all I got for you guys. Again, if you guys want to help me out a little bit with that, go to superjohnbobo.com. Any questions or anything, throw them down in there in the comments. I try and read them all. At least I try. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I get really busy, but I do my best. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.